Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Richard Travel Saturday Live Show. Awesome. Thanks for staying up with me if you're in an area where it's very late at night. If you're on the West Coast of America, it's actually a nice morning. So welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. Want to first kind of get started by saying thank you to today's moderators. And we have a moderator that actually moderates for my channel and Chris Parker's channel today. So Daystate Fox, quite a legend. He's in the chat with us today, and he's also a moderator on Retired Working for You. So I'm very happy to have Daystate Fox in the chat helping out today. So thank you, Daystate, for all that you do, and thank you for all the moderators for all that you do, all the help. Before we get started today, we got to get to the housekeeping here. So the Richard Travel Live Show is copyright protected against use by any third parties unless approval is provided by the Richard Travel channel. And just make sure under no circumstances can any part of the video be used by third parties. Violation will have to deal with YouTube's copyright policy, which nobody likes. All right, off that stuff. Today's guest, Retired Working for You. Chris is coming back for a second appearance. So happy to talk with Chris again. A lot's changed since he last came on the show. I think he had about 16,000 subscribers, and now he's got 168,000 last time I checked. So doing quite well. Can't wait to have him on. We'll bring him on at about the 10, 15-minute mark. I want to first go through the exchange rate for today. So about the same, maybe a little bit down this week, but about the same. So nothing really too crazy there. I will go ahead and welcome in all my friends and community into the live chat because we have quite a few here today. Kevin Chang Noi, little elephant there. Nice to see you. Daystate Fox, there we go. Legends in the house. Capio, nice to see you in here, man. Appreciate that, making the time. Appreciate that. Robert N. saying hello to Daystate Fox. And we got Kobus in here. And look at that, John 555 coming into us from Pattaya, Thailand. Nice to see you there, John. Thanks for coming in. Hope your mom's doing well. I know sometimes she watches my live shows. She's left me a couple of nice comments in the past. So hopefully she's doing well. And maybe she had a chance to make the live stream today. Mr. Mitch in the house today. Nice to see you from Thailand. Bill Cluck join us from Erie, Pennsylvania. Very nice. Nikki Dunn. Got a great YouTube channel herself, a lot of food videos on there, saying hello to Richard's mom. Now, everyone knows my mom always loves it when you say hello to her because she watches every show. And she gives me feedback too after the show, guys. You know, after the show, I got to go down there and visit her. She gives me some constructive feedback. Tough love. Man, I got to be on my A game every time. So thanks for everyone that says hello to her. Anders coming in from Sweden. Nice to see you there. Robert Mack in Asia has joined us. Nice to see you there, Robert Mack. Good to see you. Great. Guys, perfect. So I wanted to go through a couple of things today before we bring Chris in. A couple of kind of breaking news, at least I thought they were. First of all, before I get started with that, just want to say, Chocolate Man Thailand, thank you for your shout out on your recent live stream. I appreciate that. Appreciate the shout out. I heard that you gave me a shout out as I was prepping for this show. So thank you for that. Wanted to get to a little bit of the news today. So subscriber watch, Flora and Note. 20K subscribers. So you remember when we had Flora and Note on the show, they had about 1,700 subscribers. So I called it, back then that this was going to be a 100K subscriber channel. And I really still stick to that. Great channel, Flora and Note. Glad to see that they crossed over the 20K mark. I think they've done that in about a year. So great for them. And then the other breaking news that we have today. So you might remember last week we talked about Got to Love Thailand. Dave and his YouTube channel, he's really been trying to get over the 1,000K subscribers. He has the 4,000 or 4,000 hours of watch time. He just needed to get over the 1,000 subscribers. So guess what? He got there. So I wanted to say congratulations to Gotta Love Thailand Dave for hitting 1,000 subscribers. That's so cool. He can monetize a channel. He can start having his channels or videos recommended to a larger audience. So I'm excited about that. So I actually put together a cool little celebration video for Dave. Let's take a look at this.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? To tell you the truth, I don't know.
Surprise guest of the day, Dave. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing great, man. Congratulations on the 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you very much. I would have had it a little bit quicker, but it took me 3 months to convince Richard to subscribe. So he finally subscribed, so he put me over the edge. There's a couple like Richard, let me come on. He's the greatest guy. He did my intro and my outro, which everybody that watches the channel knows. Thank you again. Thanks, Richard, for getting me. I think in 3 weeks since I've been on the show, I got over 300 subscribers. So, and Chocolate Man in Thailand, James, always gives me good shout outs. Mitch is always pushing for me. Joe, of course, Gift and Foreigner Joe. So that's just a few. All the subscribers, just thank you very much. We're going to have some fun in the coming months, I hope.
Nice. Well, you have to keep us updated when you get the magical email from YouTube saying you've been monetized, and happy to kind of walk you through that process as well, Dave, because there's some things you have to go through on the back end.
I really appreciate that, Richard. Of course.
Great. Well, again, congratulations. What?
Hi to Richard's mom. I don't want to forget this. I got to get that in.
Now you're getting extra points.
All right, buddy.
So great.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Have a good day, man. See ya.
You too.
Awesome. Love that. So great that Dave finally got over 1,000 subscribers. I know that he was a little worried around the 600 mark because he kind of just stalled there for a little while. And any YouTube creators on the channel today, on the video today, will know that there is an area sometimes where you just kind of stick and it's tough to get unstuck. You think you're never going to get another subscriber. Well, Dave persevered and he's doing a great job on his channel. We're going to actually spotlight one of the videos later on in the Vlogger News after we depart with Chris Parker, who'll be coming on in a couple minutes. So let me just go to the chat here and see who we got saying hello to Dave. Got a lot of people in the chat today. Nice to see you there, guys. And let me go down to the bottom. My mouse is a little slow here, guys. CJ Paradise made it in the house from Hua Hin. Nice to see you there, CJ. An American living in Hua Hin, Thailand. And Mr. Mitch saying, well done, Dave. That's always awesome to see Dave crossing over those metrics there. Kevin Chang Noi saying hello to CJ. And great, guys, keep the chats coming. And Chocolate Man in Thailand saying, congrats, bro. That's nice. Chocolate Man's been a great guy. He's been giving shout outs to Dave on his channel as well. Baldy Brian in Thailand is in the house saying hello to CJ. Good to see you in there. And let's see, Bacon Overflow. I love how much of a community all the Thailand YouTubers are. Awesome. That's great. Thanks for noticing. And I thought I saw Brian Flowers. scraping in there. So I probably can't find his chat message, but Brian Flowers, I know you're in there. Thanks for staying up past midnight to watch this one. I know that Brian did a funny live stream earlier. I was actually listening to as I was kind of prepping for the show. I found him. There he goes. Hello, Richard. So thanks, Brian, for making the time. Appreciate that. Awesome. So let's do this. Let's think about bringing in our guest of the hour here, Chris Parker from Retired Working for You. This is Chris's second appearance. I'm so happy that he made the time to come back on. So I got a cool little intro for Chris, and let's load him into the live show. Chris, welcome back to the live show, man.
How you going, Richard? Good to be back, man.
Yeah, I love your little 2 Leos there. You're 1 Leo down, 1 to go.
Yeah, I got one on the go here. I just, it's midnight. Man, you got me going on at midnight. What do people expect is going to happen here tonight? I don't know, but it turns out it's a Leo strong brew. I've never seen this one, but
interesting. What's the alcohol content on that? It was like 6-8%. Could be pretty good, huh?
I don't even know, but it says strong brew. That's all I know, and we're after the stroke of midnight, so
that's great.
We'll see what happens, Richard.
I love it. I love it. So I had to include a little bit of your $10 challenge in that intro because that's still one of my favorite videos. I laugh out loud every time I watch that at the Flintstone gym there.
I cry because that was in the early stages of the channel. Since then, I've put on a bunch of COVID weight, man. So I look at that, I'm like, I got to go find that gym again.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that because I know you actually started out your channel doing the push-up challenge in Canada, right? So you were actually in the beginning of COVID doing however many push-ups, how many deaths there were on the day, right? You were doing push-ups, and that was a bit of a challenge you did every day, right?
Yeah, I did that every day for a while till I realized COVID was going to last for years. And then it was like, whoa, this might be biting off a little more than I can chew. That was down here on Samui, actually.
Oh, is that right? Interesting. Yeah, that's great. So I love that video. And also one of my favorites, I think I mentioned this to you in the past, was the life of a Muay Thai boxer that you did. I think when we last talked, you were a little frustrated because like, man, you put so much time into that, but it hadn't quite taken off. The audience really hadn't found it yet, but it has now.
Yeah, people keep watching that. I think it's one of those ones that's hopefully a little bit timeless in that it just tells a story of the young life of Muay Thai fighters. And so, yeah, I remember putting all that, and we did talk about that. I put all kinds of work into that. It was a disappointing video launch. And then over the long term, people seem to have found it and enjoyed it. So that was rewarding.
Yeah, no, one of the things we talked about last time was the fact that it was almost like a game for you, YouTube. You wanted to see like what the YouTube algorithm would pick up, what it wouldn't pick up. So you'd make these funny videos. You're like, this will never do well. And it would go viral. You know, it would get great views. Are you still doing that today? You're still kind of having a bit of fun?
Yeah, it's always, I think it is a game, and you know, who doesn't like to play some games? So yeah, definitely having fun, testing some new stuff, just always trying and just always working to make videos and then see.
Yeah, I wanted to take you down memory lane to kind of start off today. And I wanted to ask if you might notice this guy. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. I wanted to show you a picture of someone, see if you might actually remember this person. Have you seen this guy before?
Oh my God,
so that was days. 10 years ago. One of the many articles I found about you, Chris, talking about kind of your career in the film industry. You spent 20 years in the film.
You do your research, Richard. You do your research, man. Yeah, that was in the heart of it all, right in the middle of the film career there.
Yeah, and it's an interesting story, Chris, because I know that you actually vacation, or I don't want to say vacation, you took a little sabbatical from college with your friends. You went traveling around, I think Korea, right? Traveling around.
Yeah, lived in Korea in the mid-90s.
Yeah, and then decided, okay, I'm going to come back to America, or I'm going to come to America, try out, work in the film industry as a personal assistant, right?
Come to Canada, yeah, well, it started, I mean, there's a long story before that, but I just took 2 years, a mini retirement in my late 20s, just after the Korea years, and did some fun stuff in Canada, and then decided it was time to embark on some sort of career. And I thought the film industry sounded interesting. So yeah, I got a job as I was the oldest PA in Toronto, man, getting people coffees and lattes and stuff.
And that's because you had spent some time like traveling around. Usually people right out of college go find a job and you're just like, forget that. I'm going to go travel a little bit, right?
Yeah, so I was 26, 27. Actually, I was 28 at the time. And all the other PAs in the film sets I was working on were just, 20, 21, 22 years old. So got a late start.
Yeah, I think why I love that story so much, Chris, is because, you started out as a personal assistant, went into, I guess you were an assistant for like post-production. So were you doing some editing there back in the day, starting out?
No, it started off all on set. So I was a PA, a production assistant on set. So yeah, it was all on set. And then the first kind of rung of the ladder in the film industry I climbed was doing some digital video assist, and that led to some on-set editing.
Yeah. And I think it's such a great story because like right place, right time is what you say, how you call it, in that the film industry was transitioning from film to digital. So everyone's kind of wondering like, what do you do with these little chips that come out of the camera? And you're like, I'll take it. You've kind of been studying that for about a year,
I
right?
was the only guy in Canada. There was one other guy. There was one guy in the States and then me up in Canada, who were the first two to put up our hands and say, just hand that chip to us. And we had solutions that the industry needed and wanted to roll out as quickly as possible. So it just was the right place at the right time. And it snowballed very, very quickly from, a staff of 10 to a staff of 550.
That's huge. Wow. Amazing. And then I guess it's interesting because about the 20-year mark, you decided like, man, this is no longer fun. You'd kind of grown the company, went from the CTO, which I think you love doing, to more of like business development. That wasn't as fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, good research. But yeah, when I started in the industry up until the last few years, it was always about the show. Which DP are we working with? Which director are we working with? Like we're all part of this, even though my end of it wasn't creative, it was still, we felt part of that and connected to it. And then it just got too big and it turned into managing spreadsheets and numbers and money people came in, and then it just became all about money and I lost my passion for it. So I just kind of abruptly got up and moved to Thailand, man.
Yeah. And I feel like, so that's an interesting story there about moving to Thailand, because I know your daughter was like 2 years left in high school. So like most parents would say, let's just wait till the high school's over, then we'll look at making the move. You've been in the industry for 20 years. I can kind of relate to that, Chris, because I've been in technology sales for 30 years now. And I think I'm 10 years like over it. So I'd love to kind of step out, but I probably will hang in there for a couple more years. But what was it like for you making that decision at your peak? Really, like the company is continuing to explode. It's doing quite well. We're down in Culver City at that time, right?
Yeah, down in Culver City, and was just, in my mid to late 40s, and yeah, for sure was in the peak and had my best earning years all lined up and ready to go, man. And if I wanted that bigger house and that bigger yard and that bigger car, then I would have stuck there and did that. But I've said it a million times. I'm lucky enough that I realized when I was young, you only live once, man. You only get so many trips around the sun, as I like to say. And so it was just time to move on. Like more of the same wasn't gonna stimulate the senses. And we knew that we thought that it would be a good move for our daughter, which it turned out to be. She did not agree at the time, I can tell you that. But in hindsight, she even is very thankful for her experience of finishing high school in Bangkok.
I want to give you a chance to say hello to Day State Fox, who's a great moderator on your channel for the live stream.
Day State in the house. This is a guy who's going to get you if you start acting up. He throws those digital handcuffs all over you.
Yeah, he's fast. Him and Mr. Mitch are like top-notch moderators.
You don't mess with Day State. You got to learn.
It's so interesting. I'm wondering, like, where did that perspective come from, Chris? Like, you're at 20-year mark in your career, top of your career, and then you decide to walk away and leave it all behind. Was it the time spent outside of the country that allowed you to say, like, there's a better way?
Yeah, it was definitely exposure to Asia in the 90s, living in Korea for 4 years. certainly I never lost that love and passion for Asia. And then Thailand specifically, we'd come here every year to visit. And yeah, it's just prioritizing, man. Like my wife and I both feel it's like we were lucky. We were, like I said, right place, right time. We had enough. We don't want more. What would you do if you won a lottery for $50 million? Well, I don't know. I wouldn't do anything different. I'm not going to buy a Lamborghini. I'm not going to go get a big ass house. Like as we got older, we found ourselves wanting less. So then it enabled that whole process.
And it's interesting too, because I think you'd mentioned on one of the other interviews I saw of you where your wife was very supportive. She's like, let's just do it now. And you were not expecting that.
Oh, she was. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have pulled the trigger, man. My daughter was freaking out and I was ready to cave. We're ruining her life. We're ruining her life. Like, let's just stay. I'll stay. Let's just stay. And my wife's like, no, like this is burn the boats was her expression. Burn the boats. Let's go.
I love that. So you pretty much sold everything and got rid of most of your stuff. And did you come out with like 2 suitcases?
No. We shipped 60 boxes. We did not sell everything. We still had a daughter living with us at that time. The shedding everything came just in a few months ago. But no, we moved to Bangkok. So we shed a lot of stuff. We didn't have a single piece of furniture, but we had 60 boxes of kitchen stuff and this and that.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, do you think you would have been better off leaving most of that stuff behind? Or do you think you needed all that stuff?
No, because while we were living with our daughter, like it was just kind of let's bring all of these things that we were still cooking most of the meals. We still wanted to have that semblance of home that she knew. And in the midst of her life getting turned upside down by all this. So not at all, man. What I regret is 3 months ago putting 22 boxes in a storage locker, because now we don't even know what's in them anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's a good indication. I think like you've said, it's like you might not eat that stuff then. You don't know what's in there. Yeah. So Martin, who I think you met, Nick and Martin in Pattaya when you did the paracord.
Yeah, Nick and Martin, we had a great night with those lads up in Pattaya when we did the video up there with Steve and the Triangle Bar. Those guys are great guys, man. Martin and Nick. We had a cheers to you, Martin. Good to see you, brother.
I gotta tell you, so that's like a big thing for me, those pay it forward videos, Chris. I used to watch those with my mom on the weekends. I'd go down there, hey, let's watch it. Chris has got another pay it forward video out. But now I can't watch them with anyone, man. It's like tears are coming down, man. You're pulling the heartstrings. I gotta watch it in the privacy of my own place.
Yeah. Well, it's the most rewarding thing about this whole game is that, like the last one at Mr. Ung's shop, man. This is a guy that's like, this is my home neighborhood. I'm minutes from him right now, like where I'm sitting. And I was at his place for dinner last night, and to see just the return of joy, it's special, man. It's special. And these are special people that give me unlimited joy. So it's just awesome to kind of make that a two-way street,
Yeah. Watch the behind the scenes video that NDTVI did on his channel with that triangle bar in mind. And you had mentioned that these videos, the pay it forward videos, are very special for you, and you try to put extra time and effort into editing and mixing and this kind of stuff. Are those difficult videos to put together?
Yeah, they're the ones because they mean the most to me. So, and I'm usually highlighting people like that are doing the really good stuff. It's not me, man. Like I'm part of it, but I'm more the documentarian of it, like my buddy Sean in Phuket. So I remember after shooting that one in Phuket, I felt guilty and bad because I didn't think I had a good video in there. And then I put in a lot of extra time in the edit, and I came out with what I was really proud of and thought was a great video. So yeah, I feel a responsibility to do these people justice that I'm highlighting there, when I'm talking to a guy like Sean in Phuket. I mean, like I gotta do my best to give him justice. If I'm just walking out to grab some street food, I can be a little more casual and not put so much pressure on myself.
Yeah. I'm interested, like technically speaking, are you using Final Cut Pro for your edits most of the time, or using a couple different products?
No, Final Cut Pro 100% of the time.
Oh, it's nice. Have you always used that, or when we're back in the film industry, we're using like Adobe Premiere Pro as well?
No. I started myself in Final Cut Pro 2 when I was using it on set, and went all the way up to Final Cut 7. And then they went to, and that was the last one. They were actually making a little bit of inroads in the real stuff. And then they went to Final Cut X or 10 or whatever you want to call it. And nobody, 0% of the people in the real world used it anymore. And it wasn't never Adobe Premiere. It was a software called Avid. That was, we rented out Avid suites, and 99% of the real stuff gets cut on an Avid. But when it came time to start a YouTube channel, I was going to get Premiere, and I'm like, $50 a month. Like, I'm making YouTube videos. I don't need, and Premiere took the place of Final Cut. It filled that void. What Premiere is today is what Final Cut was when they left it at Final Cut 7 and took their grand departure. And so I did it just because I wanted a one-time fee, $299. I'm done. I'm not going to pay $50 a month for an editing software. And then what I thought I'd hate about Final Cut 10, I actually love about it, the magnetic timeline. For
it's love or hate.
It doesn't need to be a specific length. For me, that's actually great, and I love it. I love working on it, and I love editing. So
yeah, it's interesting. So I'll watch your videos and I'll enjoy the video first time around. Then I'll go back and I'll look at some of your transitions. And there's one that you're doing a lot lately, and I don't want you to give your secret away. So if you don't want to, that's okay. It's the transition where like you'll start to run like in a jerky motion and then switch. Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, are you keyframing that? How are you doing that transition?
No, that's a straight cut.
Oh, okay. So it's just like another
straight cut.
Interesting.
That's like if you do a swish pan, right? If you do it, if you do the camera enough, then a straight cut hides it all.
I love it.
Simon.
So slick. I love that transition.
It's fun.
That's why I love that you like have some great transitions in your videos, and you also pride yourself on kind of keeping it moving, right? So I feel like your videos have great pace.
Oh yeah. No, the editing's my favorite thing to do. You know, it takes up most of the time. It's the biggest bottleneck in, say, being able to put out more videos, but it's also for me the most fun part of it all.
Let's say hello to Gary Russell saying hello from the UK. And I got to agree with you. So I recently purchased an external monitor. Finally went from the laptop screen to like a 27-inch, which is actually not that big if you're talking video editing. You probably have one larger than mine. But
no,
wow, did it open?
External monitor.
Oh, you don't? Wow, man.
I cut on my laptop.
Wow. Amazing.
I'm bare bones, man. Like, I don't go into all this. Like, I got a giant camera bag and I got like a dual 32-inch monitor. I came from that world, man. Like, okay. My joy is stripping it down now. That's where I get my joy. So
yeah, I think that's a great segue into the question I was going to ask you around like your camera choice, because I know that you prefer to keep it simple. I know you have some additional cameras, but it's pretty much your iPhone on a Manfrotto, right?
New camera, dude. I got this, picked this up last week, man. Look at that.
Is that the 13 Pro Max? Yeah.
No, I had 3 cameras actually. I got 3 new cameras last week, Richard. Yeah, it's a Pro Max. Yeah, these things are improving by unbelievable amounts every year. And for me, like, if I had I would be spending so much time, and I will never say that I won't get a good DSLR or something. I actually want to. There's certain, but 90% of my content will always be from a phone. But there's certain content I would like to have fun and get. I was out in Phuket last month, and Haley and I went for a morning walk, and there was a whole group of people fishing, locals fishing at 7 a.m. And I started to shoot it, and my phone, it just became useless garbage. And I'm like, this is what I would like a good camera for, to capture this moment that's just such a typical Thai experience. I won't say never on that, but I'll never be walking down the street with this big ass thing vlogging myself.
Yeah. Daystate was mentioning about the rats choosing the prize winners was inspiring. Did you want to talk a little bit about that for people that might not be familiar with what he's talking about?
That was one of my favorite videos I've ever done. I thought that was I loved it. I loved it because because it worked out, right? So you gotta like your hair brain comes up with some crazy idea. I said I'd give away flights when I hit 100,000 subscribers. Okay, how do I pick the winners? Well, let's get it down to 3 finalists. I'll get 3 different pieces of cheese and put it out on Soy 23 where I lived, where I knew at rat o'clock every night the rats would be there. I didn't know if I'd get the shot. So I'm down there. There's people walking by the street. Who's that guy just filming the rats and putting cheeses out and stuff? But it worked out so great because the rat comes up and it sniffs the one cheese and then it takes the other. It was unbelievable. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Prenzo Worldwide, thank you for the 14. Appreciate that. Awesome. Chris, I'll split it with you. We can use it for a pay it forward video. And Chocolate Man in Thailand saying, loving all the geek speak. DaVinci Resolve is life. So that's a lot of guys are on DaVinci Resolve.
Well, if I was starting in the game, I would be on DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve, when I was in the film industry, I mean, we had a bunch of Resolve suites. We colored all of Game of Thrones on DaVinci Resolve. Period. End of story. And when I started in the industry, DaVinci Resolve was $300,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
$300,000. Now it's free.
Yeah. Wow.
And this was a crazy thing that happened in the film industry because it was a $300,000 tour. When you get into final color grading at a high end, it's almost like an F1 team where your color bay is the car and the engineers are the mechanics building that car and the colorist is the driver. And when DaVinci Resolve had that Blackmagic bought them and they became free, it turned it into this world where you still need a color bay built around it, like if you're going to do proper stuff again. But then it democratized everything and put these F1 cars in the hands of everybody. That's a crazy powerful tool, DaVinci Resolve. Crazy.
Are you doing a lot of color grading on your videos? Are you color grading? Are you doing a lot of color grading on your videos?
Mostly not a lot. I do some simple stuff. I do a color pass on every video, but normally I don't get too crazy. I'm not that great at it.
Yeah, that's my weak spot, man, color grading. So I don't really do a very good job at all. I guess it should match throughout the whole video. I'm all up and down. It's nuts.
Well, you look gorgeous right there, Richard.
Well, it's funny because you're mentioning about the camera you have. I think the one downside to YouTube, Chris, is the fact that they remove the stabilization in the iPhone video. Like
on the live streams.
Yeah, on the live streams. It's
terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I feel like if take that off, you wouldn't need a gimbal, But I'm curious, how are you getting the video off of the iPhone? Are you loading the file into an SD card and then switching it over?
I airdrop to my laptop.
Oh, interesting.
I just airdrop. I go out on a shoot and then I come home. I select whatever. I got 150 clips. Select them all. Airdrop. Boom. They're in there.
It's great. Learning so much today, Chris. More than last time. Didn't really learn anything last time, but had a great conversation. So funny. Nice. So I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit because I'll tell you, one person that's getting to be a little popular on YouTube is your nephew, Adam. So he's sort of taken on the responsibilities of the business side that is retired working for you. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. And this is all kind of news to the world, but there's been some stuff going on behind the scenes for a while. The story goes like this. When I started to blow up, he was traveling around Europe. And he reached out to me and he's like, Uncle Chris, you could build businesses around this YouTube thing of yours. You're blowing up. And I'm like, I don't want to build businesses around it. I'm retired, man. Like I'm just making these videos for fun. He had just graduated university with a business degree. And I said, if you want, why don't you come over and build businesses around my YouTube channel? I'll just keep making videos. And you flex your young, creative, entrepreneurial 23-year-old ambition. And he's like, great. And so he came over and that's exactly what's happening. So it's a family business. He's my brother's kid. He's an amazing guy on so many levels. And it's just an absolute joy that if this thing is going to be like the last thing I want is this thing to ever turn into where it's another, what happened in the film industry, like another thing that's just this corporate sort of thing that's all about brand deals and that is, no, this is a family business. This is me and my nephew. And he's going to be given the opportunity to build businesses around this. And I'll continue giving the AdSense money to the pay it forwards. He'll start businesses because he needs to make some money. And I'm a big supporter of young entrepreneurs. I love it. It excites me.
I think it's great.
So that's the deal. That's the story behind that. So we're a dynamic duo now, and he's my nephew, man. I love him to death.
Johnny, there is something happening. Who you met in Hua Hin says, what a great uncle.
Johnny, put the damn pig head back, Johnny.
That's a great video you guys did. Like he did one, and you did one about Johnny delivering a special surprise to your hotel. And you opened it up, and it was a pig's head.
He did, man. He did deliver that surprise. It was,
Johnny's a legend.
We joked about it the night before, and when someone says they're going to send a severed pig's head to your hotel morning, you don't really think it's going to happen. But it's because I didn't quite know Johnny just yet.
That's what I was going to say. His reputation precedes him.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, awesome. That's so great. So I was wondering, like, how awesome is that for a 23-year-old to come out of college and not have to go into the rat race, the grind,
well, it's
corporate
everything.
life?
I was hanging out with him tonight in the previous half dozen bottles of Leo. We were over at Lost Beach Bar having a little beach party, and we were talking about that exact point. You know, he pulled me aside and just said, this is, you know, it's great. And it's more than like the rat race is a big part of it. He wouldn't have gone into the rat race anyway. The introduction to Asia is what he was thanking me for. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And he's been on a couple of your live streams. I think he kind of pals around with you sometimes to go out for the nightlife. And I know I've seen.
Oh yeah, like we're complete buddies now, man. Like it's thick as thieves.
And Capio saying typical Godfather move there with the pig's head. I thought that was great. And it was funny because you did a video where you went to several different cities in one day, and you filmed it like all throughout the day. And one of the last stops was Hua Hin. You met up with Johnny, and that was like the end of a long day. And that was a pretty incredible little video there.
Yeah, I put 6 videos out that day. I drive an hour on the motorbike, shoot a bunch of stuff, pull over in a farmer's rice field, spend an hour editing and posting, get back on the bike, and that was like 14 hours straight of that. And it was a challenge, just a personal little challenge for myself was all.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So one of the things that I love so much about your channel, Chris, is that I can sense the passion for the Thai community. Like it's in you. I think probably you found that out when you first started vacationing there. What's that little Thailand shirt? Yeah. And I mentioned that because I wanted to kind of pivot to the merchandising, because you're kind of priding yourself on not going through larger companies like Teespring, so to speak. You're using local Thai community to print the T-shirts and ship it.
Sammy, the T-shirt Manny. Screw Teespring, man. Like things have to have a soul, man. Like if you're going to be doing this, and I'm lucky because I came into it with a free mindset of not needing it. But what that allowed me to do, I think there's lessons for people that do need it. Like try to make your stuff have a soul. And what soul is there in selling a thing that says Thailand that was designed by some guy in you know, wherever on Fiverr and then produced by Teespring? And sure, that's easier. It would be cheaper. It would be cheaper products for my customers. They'd get it shipped way faster. Well, that's not what we're going to do, man, ever. It's like our stuff. This was an artist that we commissioned. We said, do an outline of Thailand and use your creative freedom to put all the things that you love about Thailand in the various regions. And he did this personal with love here on Samui. And then these shirts are handmade with love by Sammy and Seb and their team in Pattaya. And that's it, man. Like Teespring. No thanks, man.
Yeah, and I've heard some stories about I guess the quality is not that high on Teespring Sometimes it looks very faded out.
The quality in this, and it's soulless. It's a soulless way to connect with your community. My community is going to go out of the go to the trouble to connect with me, and I'm just going to schlep some soulless crap to them. That's just like click, 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 a few mouse clicks and a couple of Zoom calls. No, I'm going to hang out with Thai people and people who have stories I like, and we'll handcraft and hand do everything, and it'll have a soul and it'll have meaning to me. And I think that has meaning to the community.
Yeah. And I think one of the big strengths you have is the community that you've built, right? So you had a subscriber meetup while you're in Canada. You were expecting a handful of people to come into the restaurant, and there was a line out the door of 100+ people. And it surprised you.
Yeah,
you weren't expecting that, huh?
That was shocking. And that was kind of a game changer for me in my direction. I never really fully grasped my mission with this whole YouTube thing. And that night it became crystal clear, man. All I want to be is like a cheerleader, a ringleader for people around the world who love Thailand, because I love Thailand. So I want to be that. I want to make it, give a forum and a community. And that in Toronto suddenly was a group of people who were just swapping Thailand stories all night and pulling me aside and saying, during the pandemic, like, you have us dream of Thailand. Now we're all here and everyone's telling. And it became crystal clear for me that that's all I want to be.
Got one of your subscribers saying, hi from the UK, Chris, give us a motorbike. Cheesy bikers. The cheesy bikers.
Motorbikes.
And so it's great because I listened to the interview with Adam just, I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking about how
Irish Times, by the way. Shout out
Irish Times. So Mr. Mitch, if you can throw a link in the Irish Times, Adam did it. I think it's a hashtag retired working for you. You can find it pretty easy. But it was great because he was talking about opening up places where you could have subscribers come and chill out, watch your videos, get some coffee or grab a Leo and kind of
look at you breaking news. So we just had the launch party for our first ever clubhouse the night before last. So it's happened. There's a Samui clubhouse. And again, the way this works, I mean, I'll just tell you, even though we're live, like it's not, I'm like, got a Thai staff and I'm going to make all this money by opening a business. No, this is the artist who painted this and who happens to paint lots of paintings for Moonstone and all kind. He's just a sweet, sweet soul. He was working at a gallery and they were taking 60% commission and giving him 40. And he had this dream for a long time. What if I open my own shop? But he was scared. He didn't have the money. He didn't have he was just nervous. And I said, great. How about we do this? I'm looking to have a place to have my subscribers come and just chill. What if I call it the Samui Clubhouse? And my community is amazing, like you said, and they will come by and support this guy. And what if we paid half your rent? And then it's just like, it's his business. Like this is it for us. The benefit is our subscribers get a personal connection to one of my personal connections. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So he's beyond happy. He's beyond excited. There will be a video coming of that launch, but yeah, there's a Samui Clubhouse now, man.
That's great. I guess the plans are maybe to expand a bit too, as well. Maybe have a couple of those kind of around the area. Is that kind of your vision, or is that mostly his?
Yeah. Like if there's someone in Bangkok, someone in Chiang Mai that I would like to support in their dreams of opening a little shop, and I thought it was a place that my subscribers and stuff would enjoy, and then I would certainly look at doing that. But it would again, it has to be a personal connection. It's not just something that's made up just to do it, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense. NSA, thank you for the $10. Says Leo Beer and Koh Samui at the beach at night. Awesome. That sounds great. And then Chris, you got one of your subscribers saying that he met you at that night in Toronto. He was fantastic. He spent most of his time outside in the line and chatting us up. I didn't know. So you never said anything about that, Chris. You're so humble.
Well, here's what happened. Well, I thought nobody would come. The owners of the restaurant, shout out Jeff, shout out Nui. gave me a private room and did up all this stuff. And they said, even if nobody comes, it'll be our family will be here hanging out with you. We love your channel. Then about an hour in, he pulls me aside. He goes, so we're at capacity. I'm like, well, that's awesome. And he goes, no. Like, you got to go outside and see what's going on. I'm like, oh shit. And he said, let's kick people out and say there's a time limit. Thank you for coming. Let's bring in the next batch of people waiting in line. And I said, no, like that's not how I roll. Like, I'm not kicking people out. People were just getting into their second and third drink. It was a blast. Instead of that, I'll go outside for the next hour and a half and talk to every single person in that line and apologize to them basically and own it and say, like, we didn't anticipate this. And I just spent time out there. And that's, I think, what Tony's referring to. So thanks, Tony.
It's so great. I think for people that wonder what Chris is like when the camera's not on, I can tell you that, man, you've been just so responsive to all of my emails. Every time I send you an email like, hey, you want to come back on the show? Yeah, let's pick a date. This one doesn't work for me. This does. And just, you're always a gentleman. So I appreciate that, man. You're always willing to kind of give something back.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. Last night, my best friend here bet me that I was going to cancel on you last minute because we were going to a beach party tonight before this show. Yeah. And I said, no, like I'll take that bet. There's a 0% chance I'm canceling on Richard. Richard's a cool guy. I gave Richard my word. We have a plan hatched. 0% chance I'm canceling.
Yeah, and I find like that's awesome. So thank you for that, because I know it's one of those days and one of those nights where you're having a great time. I pulled you away to come and do the live show today, but I thank you so much, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's all good. I thank you, man. Like you continuously back there in the Bay Area, like promoting Thailand. Like I said, we love this place, man, and it's my pleasure, Richard.
So one funny comment I got to bust you out on is I heard that I'm going to say this being ironic, your second favorite ice hockey stadium is San Jose Sharks. Is that where you most enjoyed yourself outside of Toronto?
You know the story of this? I told that story 2 hours ago. Do you know that story?
I know that story about the guy leaning forward too much. They had to make the announcement.
How do you know this?
I do my research, Chris.
Dude,
come on a top quality show.
I just told that story 2 hours ago to one of my good friends, because he said that at the Pattaya Music Festival last weekend, they had chairs and told people you're not allowed to stand. And so I said, let me tell you about the hockey games in San Jose.
It's such a great story. You know, basically you were in awe of like how disappointed you were at the vibe, the crowd. So I had to bust you out because that's my hood.
Up and yell at them all and say, what's wrong with you people?
Oh,
don't sit forward in your seats at a sporting event. Heaven forbid.
It's great.
Oh,
well, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I've only actually been to a handful of games there. So I will tell you, I've been to the Chicago Blackhawks game. Now, that's a real hockey game. They do a nice job there in the crowd.
Yeah, I may lose San Jose subscribers over this, but man, that was a joke.
So I'll tell you, for anyone who wants to hear that story. So actually, Chris, I heard that a couple of days ago on the Fruiting Body podcast. Your friend Brendan down there in Phuket pulled that story out of you. Yeah. So I did some research with him. He's a great guy. We kind of are in cahoots there with the research. Nice. So let me know some good stories there. But thank you for coming on. I'm going to kind of wrap things up here, Chris, because we've gone already over the time limit that I told you I was going to keep to. But thank you for coming on. Enjoy your Leos.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me, man. Do I just log out from here?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick you out. Actually, I'm that kind of guy. But thank you for coming. I'm going to play you out with your outro.
I'm going back to the party, man. You take care, Richard.
All right. See you. Bye. I love that. Chris is awesome guest, Chocolate Man in Thailand, saying Chris has been set up. He has no idea how far Richard will go for the show. I did a lot of research. I was kind of telling some guys on some other live streams, like, I'm doing more research on Chris than I've ever done for any other guest. But I felt like it was important because it's such an interesting story. I felt like the more research I was doing with him, the more I wanted to do more research. A story about getting in the film industry back in the day, 20, 25 years ago, at the right time, just as it was switching from film to digital. Wow. And then built a company up from nothing to 550 employees, multiple acquisitions. I would say anyone that's interested in his backstory, just search for Chris Parker, and the company's Bling is the company name that he had. Great stories there. So thank you, James, for that. Hopefully everyone appreciated that interview. It's definitely, he's a feel-good kind of guy. He's got some great stories, and his love is really there for Thailand. So definitely appreciate that. Bill Clock saying, good interview, Rich. Kobus is saying goodbye to Chris. Chocolate Man saying good times. Prince-O Worldwide. South Africa, 7:49 p.m. Oh, interesting. Good to get a time check there. I know it's a little late for some folks, but I appreciate everyone that kind of hung in there with me. Now, what we're going to do today, for those that might be new to the live show, I'm going to take a quick little 60-second intermission, play a video for you, and then we're going to come back and talk about vlogger news. It's a segment where we kind of pick out my favorite vloggers of the week, and we show some of their videos and have a good time. And I got a special guest that will be joining me to talk about the vloggers that we have on the news. So stay tuned. I'll be back in about 60 seconds. We just cue my intermission video, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Nice little intermission break there. So I did see a comment from one of my guys earlier, and I can't find which one it was, but saying that they noticed the mic was on the other side today. So it's over here. And those that tuned in last week might have noticed that last week was my first week of the larger screen, and the mic was right in the eyesight of the comments. So I kind of had to look around the mic to see it. And I knew it was going to be a problem 5 minutes before the live show, but I couldn't do anything about it last week. So this week, had to move the mount for the boom arm and everything over to the other side. It took forever. You would think it would just be a quick little switch. No, man, this kind of stuff takes forever. And now it's a little different having it on the other side versus the right side. So thanks for whoever noticed that. I appreciate that. And got a lot of comments. Your Mojo saying, one hell of an intermission. I know I like to keep it high energy, keep everyone excited for the vlogger news segment that's coming up here. So I'm going to show you the intro for the vlogger news. We have a special guest coming in to run through the vloggers, and I will play that for you now. And we're going to have our surprise guest come in.
Hello, this is Mr. Egg from the Pattaya, and this is vlogger news on the Richard Travel Live Show.
Keisha, hello.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm typing and talking at the same time. Such bad habit. There we go. Wrap this up. There we go. Life After Kids with Key Williams joins us today for the Vlogger News segment. So excited to have her back. She was a guest just a couple weeks ago, right, Key?
I was. I'm excited to be back.
I'm all calling you by your nickname now. Can I do that?
That's fine.
So funny. So a little funny joke about Keisha is she used to come into the live chat and I would try to pronounce her name of her channel and I would mispronounce it horribly. I'm so embarrassed to say that I did that. It's such a basic name there, but she corrected me a couple times and we finally got through it. So thanks for coming on to run through vlogger news with me. I got a lot of exciting vloggers, some that you actually recommended to me. So I can check them out and stuff like this. So the first one I wanted to kind of run to today, Keisha, was yours. So your channel, your Chiang Mai part 2 video. I thought it was great. I loved your part 1. I loved your part 2. I want to kind of just show a quick little blurb of this. Let me cancel out this window, make it easier for me going forward. I want to just kind of show a little bit of this video. And let me share this Chrome tab. And let's see, the Chiang Mai is there. Here we go.
Okay, so this is the place that Ashley found. It's called Roastery. They apparently have won many awards here for their coffees.
I completely butchered the name of that coffee shop. I know that's not how you say it.
How do you say it? Do you know how to say it now?
I don't, because they couldn't really tell me.
Interesting. Well, I love that video. I found so you're kind of finding your chops there with the YouTube editing. I feel like you got some good music in there now. You're kind of getting more comfortable in front of the camera.
I'm trying real hard, Richard.
Yeah. So those 2 videos have performed very well, right? You had about 10,000.
They have been doing pretty well. I'm really surprised. I'm pretty basic, but I love doing it.
Yeah. Well, give a little shout out for your channel. Like you're an American that's chose to retire in Thailand, sight unseen.
Yeah. I chose Thailand because I heard nothing but good things about Thailand. And so far, I love it here.
That's great.
And the people are just so welcoming. So I think I chose right.
Yeah, I think you chose right. And I think you have some funny videos as well, in addition to some of the sites you're seeing as well. You did a great video on a place that you rented in Hua Hin, and then you had a follow-up video as why you left that place. So I don't want to give it away because it's an awesome video. So funny to hear you talk about it.
Thank you.
But you turned me on to someone I knew about, but I haven't actually watched a lot of her videos recently. And that was Miss Jira in Hua Hin.
Miss Jira.
Miss Jira.
Yeah. She's awesome. I love Miss Jira. I watched Miss Jira along with several others when I was back in the States. And she's just a funny person. She's very funny. And I'm a sucker for children. So she has a little boy, Alexander, and I just love him to death. I love that little boy. He's a sweetheart.
She has a great video, just came out kind of talking about a new place that's for sale, I believe in Hua Hin. It's her 100th video. I thought it was like great timing to profile her 100th episode. So let me just kind of share this. I want to show people a little bit of Jira Hua Hin. And here we go.
And before I show you inside the villa, let me tell you more detail about this villa first. So this villa have 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, total living area, altogether about 200 square meter, and the land plot is 372 square meter. 2-story house right here. On the first floor have living room, kitchen, 2 bedroom and 2 bathroom, and upstairs have 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. So 1 bathroom with ensuite bathroom, and also have the outside toilet with the bathtub. So very good. this villa is good for someone who would like to live in the city center, so close to everything, close to all restaurant and all convenience shop. Okay, don't waste time now. Let's go to see the villa together with.
I'm not going to show it. You gotta watch the video to see this, to watch the inside of it. It's awesome. So great.
Yeah.
She makes some really great videos. She's good with the panning and filming around. She's great. I love her channel.
She really is. She really is. She's exactly the same way she is on the videos. And if you watch some of her older videos, she will have you crying laughing. She's very funny. She's scared of dogs.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's interesting. There's a lot of dogs in Thailand.
Yeah.
Now, how did you meet her? Did you meet her through her YouTube channel? Is that how you rented the place you rented in Hua Hin?
Yes, because Jira, she specializes in the villas in Hua Hin. So when we got there, I just reached out to her and she called me right back. And she's the one who showed us our villa, and she helped us out a lot. And she's just such a friendly person.
She's great. I love her videos. It's kind of cool just to get away from it and see what's possible, retiring in Thailand. So for those people that are thinking about retiring in America, you get a lot more for your money in Thailand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I love that video. And then also a favorite of mine this week was Thai Girl Gift and Foreigner Joe. They made a funny video, Am I in Danger? And I feel like they're doing something new on this video, and that they're kind of doing a little bit of scripted, playing around a little bit in the beginning. Did you watch that video?
I did. That video is funny. I mean, am I alone to think that when she was driving that SUV, her eye level was exactly the same level as the dashboard? So I was thinking, how does she see this stuff?
Yeah. So one thing that showed in that video was she's practicing to get her driver's license. Gift is. So she's driving and she pulls out for the first time and she just looks over to Joe and says, "Too easy." I just thought it was so great. But I wanted to show you the beginning of this video because it's so awesome that what they did, they're kind of looking at the top of their place, the viewpoint. And I wanted to kind of show you a quick little clip from this video because I think it's just so hilarious. They are so good together, these two.
Yeah.
Sabai.
Yeah, beautiful up here.
Beautiful swimming pool, not what?
Yeah.
What do you think? If I jumping from here?
Into the swimming pool?
Yes.
You'll probably die. Then I'll have to get another girlfriend to enjoy the house.
New girlfriend?
Well, if you're gone, what do you want me to do?
Look at her face.
I feel like Joe plays it up so well. So awesome. They need to do more videos like that because they had me laughing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing on that video. It was great. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Her face, her look that she looked at him and then at the camera, that was really funny. And then the part when they were in the store shopping and she was walking ahead of him. And if you listen closely, she was just fussing at him. It was funny.
So great. Yeah, it's so great that the dynamic between them two are just really great, really good. And then, so check out that video. Check out Foreigner Joe's channel, Thai Girl Gift and Foreigner Joe. Check it out. He's actually just finished his home build. I probably want to say maybe a month or a month and a half ago it was finalized. And just some great videos on that channel. He's a big supporter of my channel, so I'm happy to kind of profile his videos. He's been on the channel twice, so nice to have him. Yeah. And then the Naked Guru, another individual that's been on my show back in the day, probably about a year ago now. Love this. The art of not giving a whatever, what people think of you. I thought this was a great one too. So you brought this one to my attention, Keisha. I'm like, oh, I got to check out his latest. And it was really good.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's just a cool, mellow guy. And again, he has a son and I'm just a sucker for the kids and he's adorable. So yeah, I like his channel. I like his channel. It's simple. It's nothing, no bells and whistles. No, I wish I could live a life like that. I'm just scared of everything.
Yeah. No, I think he is great. And I found that channel's taken off a lot. He has a lot of great videos on there and he's really gotten a lot of subscribers. Let's show a little clip from this one. My friend Ryan over at the Naked Guru. This is great.
So I guess the point is if you can, if you're able to, and I appreciate many people are not able to, but if you can, then do now in your life. Don't wait too long, because life will just pass you by. Do what you want to do now while you're young and healthy and able to do it. Take the risk. The universe will conspire in your favor to help you do it. So that's my message for today.
So great. I feel like he just really gets it. You feel like the same thing?
Yeah, I do. He's a very easygoing person, and you know, he opens himself up and talks about the things that he used to do and how they were just kind of detrimental to his life, and he changed everything, and now he's just this peaceful, cool guy.
Yeah, because he really he loved the party lifestyle back in the day, and he'll be the first to admit it, but he sort of changed it, found that was not going to go well. Yeah, Chocolate Man says Otis steals the show in every video.
Absolutely. Otis is adorable. He is adorable.
So great. Yeah, interesting videos from him. He kind of keeps producing the great stuff, and the little huts that he's building are great as well, right?
He just got his wife one of her own, and it's so cute. They were trying to get it into their lot, and they had to cut down some trees. And he said no trees were killed during the making of this film. He said, but some branches were, you know. Yeah.
That's all right. The tree stayed alive. So I don't know if you've had a chance to check out our comment here from this channel, What's Doing Biz. You know, I've profiled his videos a couple of times. So wonderful channel. Talk about like inspirational videos. So he's actually living in Thailand now. It talks about his struggle and what he does to stay positive. Oh man, love this video. I got to talk to him about coming on the show because wow, some really wonderful videos. So Mitch, if you wouldn't mind throwing up a link to What's Doing Biz, smaller channel, just starting out. I think he has just surpassed 300 subscribers, and he's trying to grow. And the quality videos he has there, good stuff, good stuff. So for anyone interested in some, you know, motivation type stuff, inspirational stuff, check his channel out. And you know why I love it so much, Keisha? He keeps it real. He says like, hey, I had a difficult day yesterday. Like, I'm not going to tell you every day is great. Like, this is what I went through. I got off my ass. I did this. I walked, I exercised. I love that.
Yeah.
Good.
I think that's what people like anyway, for you to be real. I don't think people really like well, I mean, some people do, I guess, the animation, but everybody that I watch on YouTube, they're just who they are. And I love that. Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking about who they are is Shine Bright Like Tita. One of my personal favorites. She was on the show probably about a year and a half ago and got news for everyone in the chat. Tita's coming on the live show in 2 weeks. Got a confirmation from Tita. So she's got a funny video. So she's back in business. She's creating videos again. Let me share a quick little intro. All the guys in the house are going to like this one. She is funny, hilarious. Let me share this video clip and let's check out Tita.
Hi everyone, I'm here in Hua Hin and I'm cooking outside. Today I'm gonna show you how to cook one of the best menu in Thailand, stir fry basil, or in Thai we call it as Pad Krapao. So I really like
Pad Krapao. So that's one of Chris Parker's favorite Thai dishes.
Yes, it is. He has a Krapao lady.
Yeah. So I would be interested to see, like, if he ever gets over to the Hua Hin area, has a chance to try hers. So I'm sure hers is pretty good. But she's starting up again. So I love this channel. She's going to be on in a couple weeks. Great personality, just so positive. I can't wait to have her back on the show. Are you familiar with that channel at all, Keisha?
I am not, but I'm going to have to check it out because she seems very bubbly and fun. So
she's great.
I'm going to check that one out.
And then to kind of wrap up things here, got to love Thailand. So we kind of celebrated Dave earlier. He just hit over 1,000 subscribers. And Keisha, you know what, like how awesome that is, right?
Yeah, I do. It is.
So Keisha, like her interesting story is she was a couple hundred subscribers, had some videos that performed well. She went from 1,000 or a couple hundred to 1,000 to 2,000, like in 24, 48 hours. Awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
It was great because remember you did a little Facebook post where you said, hey, I made 1,000 subscribers. So awesome. Thank you, everyone. And I went to check and you were already over 2,000.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. That was crazy.
Yeah. So Dave's making great videos about his house build in Surin and then also doing these great live streams. You got to check out the live streams, guys, because they're great. It's getting a little controversial now, Keisha, because the house build's nearing the end. Yeah, a little bit of trying to get
I'm
this house
scared to
done.
do a live stream.
I'll walk you through it. It's easy.
Jira and I actually tried to do it when I was in Hua Hin. We had dinner last weekend, and I chickened out.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. Just write down a couple of topics to frame the conversation and go from there. That's what I started. I started doing live streams when I first started the channel to get my watch hours. I'm not very good at them, though. I'll tell you, I don't have a lot to talk about. Pretty much boring guy.
I think my biggest fear is to turn it on and nobody show up.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. You probably would get a lot of people showing up for you. But I wanted to show this quick little video from Dave for he did a Forza review, his Honda Forza 350. He did a review of this, and it's a pretty cool little video. Let me share the screen, and let's get to this one with Dave from Got to Love Thailand.
Anyway, I'm hoping, like I said, to get into that, into a 3-4 day trip over to the ocean somewhere. Maybe Koh Chang, I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to that. So hopefully I can get on that within the next 2 weeks. But running wise, horsepower, response, everything, just exceptional. Got no, like I said, no bitches, moans, or complaints about.
It's so great. So he makes some real videos. I love that about him. Like his stuff and his voice is like so relaxing.
It is. He's just mellow.
Yeah, he's mellow. He's like that in the live streams, on his videos. It's great. He's finishing up his home build in Surin, which is awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that finishes up. I said a little bit of controversy. You guys got to check out the live stream because he talks about the challenges that he's finding right now towards the finishing of his home build. Pretty nuts.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know that I ever want to do that again.
Yeah. A lot of people choose just to rent, right, Keisha? Just to kind of come out to Thailand, just rent, move around.
Yeah, because I mean, after having a mortgage and a big house and selling it, I don't know that I ever want to be strapped down to one place anymore. Not now, not while I'm still able to move, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So what's next for your channel, Keisha? What kind of videos you got coming out?
I want to travel. I mean, now that we just finished completing our retirement visas and we've got the multiple entry, and I would like to travel to some of the other countries around here, you know, so I'm looking at doing some of that and just checking out Bangkok too, pretty much. Cause we've been down south and we went up to Chiang Mai, and I know there are plenty of other places I want to go right here in Thailand, but there's things right here in Bangkok I want to do. So
yeah. That's great. Well, Brock is inviting you to the Got to Love Thailand live stream, Keisha. Brock's saying you got to make it for that. So you got to check out one of the live streams. I'm sure he'd love to see you.
I'll be there, Brock.
So great. Brock, it's like middle of the night for him. He was not very happy with the time of the show, but we had to work around Chris's schedule. So
yeah.
So great. Well, Keisha, thank you for coming on and doing Vlogger News with me. So
thank
great.
you so much for having me again, Richard.
What is it, 1 o'clock in the morning, your time?
I know it's way past my bedtime. I saw Chocolate Man's live and I thought, oh my God, I'd be asleep by now if it wasn't for this.
So everyone, please go check out Keisha's channel, Life After Kids with Key Williams.
Thank you.
Check it out. And we'll see you soon. Look forward to talking to you via email. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thailand Rob here, and that's all this week in Vlogger News. Please return your seats and tray tables to their upright position. Thank you for flying Recharge Travel.
Funny, I was seeing a comment from Daystate Fox. He's not had any beers for 6 weeks. Wow. What's the problem? What happened? My gosh. Maybe a self-imposed dry period there for Daystate. Hopefully he's still on his form with the moderating. Sometimes get concerned. And Gotta Love Thailand saying, great show, Richard. Appreciate that. Anthony is saying, I fly into Bangkok on the 8th of December, going to see his son. Oh, that's great, man. Well, congratulations. That's great. You have to let us know how that goes. Nikki Dunn saying, great show, great channel there. Nikki Dunn, some great cooking videos there on that channel. And then Baldy Brian in Thailand. Another great show, similar to Carl's Thailand. If you guys have checked out Carl's Thailand, a lot of hiking around Thailand and some family videos as well. So we're looking to have Baldy come on the show in a couple weeks as well. We got to kind of sort out the schedule for that. And then just to kind of confirm who we have coming up next week, you guys might be excited to see this. Next week, we have Keisha coming on the show. Adam and I have finally figured out a date and a time to come on. And then the following week will be Tita from the YouTube channel Shine Bright Like Tita. You guys can go back and check out her previous interview, probably about a year and a half ago that we did on the channel. She was great. So much fun. One of my favorite videos that I put together there was that one. So Adam's going to be joining us next week. The only disclaimer I have on next week's show is this. So it's really start time. 8 p.m. Thai time, which most people might love. 8 o'clock a.m. in the U.S. on the East Coast time, but it's 5 a.m. Pacific for me. So that means an early start time, but I'll do it. I'll rally. I'll need all your support to help me through that interview. I'll need some questions in the chat to keep Keith going. So looking forward to having him come on. He's got a great channel that's really just blown up, exploded. He's got some really slick videos on his channel, just some great edits, some great music. Talk about keeping it going. Wow, his videos flow fast paced, which is great. I love it. So join me for next week for that interview. And then we'll also be having Tita come on the week after that. So until next time, I'll say goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week. Different time, same day.
Hands in the air.